Brought to you by my tip jar. Fan funding is the only way you can support my channel right now. If you'd like to tip me $1 or $2, please just click the link in the description below. And thank you to everybody that's already supported, because you're the reason why I'm still able to do this right now, actually. So thank you so much. So we recently discovered that John Brennan still has top secret security clearance. Why on earth does a man who is threatening the President of the United States still have security clearance, we ask? And that's precisely what Rand Paul wants to know, and he is demanding Brennan's security clearance to be revoked. Coming in from the Daily Caller, it says Kentucky Republican Senator Ron Paul went after former CIA Chief John Brennan, firing off a couple of tweets on Monday morning. Paul suggested that Brennan was making money on his continued access to sensitive information and said that he would call for Brennan's security clearance to be revoked. Is John Brennan monetizing his security clearance? Is John Brennan making millions of dollars divulging secrets to the mainstream media with his attacks on Donald Trump? Today I will meet with the president and I will ask him to revoke John Brennan's security clearances. Paul has long been critical of Brennan, famously invoking Jimmy Stewart's iconic scene from Mr. Smith Goes to Washington when he filibustered Brennan's nomination to the head of the CIA in 2013. The Kentucky senator voiced his concerns again last week on Tucker Carlson Tonight, reminding the audience that he had always been wary of Brennan. When he came to be head of the CIA, I filibustered him because I thought he was a bad news from the very beginning.
Well, I think Brennan's a very bad guy, and if you look at it, a lot of things happened under his watch. I think he's a very bad person.
Someone who does not think that the president's meeting with Putin is treason is Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky, and he joins us tonight in the studio. Senator, thanks a lot for coming on.
Glad to be here.
So the former director of the CIA, you think of that as a sober-minded person, a responsible person, kind of a James Bond with maybe an advanced degree. Here you have a naked partisan nutcake describing a press conference as treason. How should that make us feel as American citizens?
It makes me wonder whether he should be getting a government pension if he's going to be disrespecting the commander-in-chief, calling the president treasonous. That's about as overtop as you can imagine.
But treason is a death penalty offense. He's describing views he disagrees with.
Well, yeah.
Is disagreeing with someone's opinion the same as betraying the country?
Well, you have to realize John Brennan started his illustrious career by voting for the Communist Party. You know, that's who he wanted to win the presidency back in the 70s, so he voted for the Communist Party. When he came to be head of the CIA, I filibustered him because I thought he was bad news from the very beginning. And I think what you've seen is, and what should worry us all is, this is one of the most powerful people in the world who has the ability to destroy anybody in the world and gain information on anything you do, any American, any foreigner, the head of the CIA. And yet, with all that power, he was coming to work each day with a bias and a hatred of the president. It should worry us all. You know, what other things could he possibly have been doing with that power? So I'm a big believer that we need more checks and balances on those in the intelligence community. James Comey, John Brennan, James Clapper. We need much more surveillance of the watchers.
It's just such an irresponsible.
Rand Paul is absolutely 100% correct. How can someone like John Brennan still have security clearance? I still question, how did he even get security clearance to begin with? How did he become the director of the CIA? That's the weirdest part. But anyways, if he has clearance, he needs it revoked immediately. And I don't even see why he's getting paid. It's disgusting to have people like this that just 24/7 slander and trash the president and try to frame him on a daily basis, still collecting money from our tax dollars. We the people should have the right to say who should get their pension. We really should. Did they earn it? It shouldn't be something just handed or given away, especially to people that just spit on our faces. So hopefully Trump does revoke his security clearance, and I think we the people need to start a petition now actually cut off his pension, because he doesn't need that. That's our tax dollars paying this guy to literally just trash talk our president on CNN. Completely disgusting, and it's totally unacceptable. Moving forward in the news, the lefty liberals are just getting more and more insane by a daily basis, and I blame Hollywood, mainstream news, music companies, and everything all for this. They are causing these people to become literally ticking time bombs. I mean, they are zombies. They listen to every single thing that these people do. And I'm starting to develop a theory of why Hollywood is so hardcore into this, and I think it's kind of obvious. Hollywood is mad that all their friends are getting busted into doing all these sick little things. I mean, these people stand up for each other. In fact, we just dug up the old video where Whoopi Goldberg is actually defending Bill Cosby with the argument that it wasn't rape. even though the victim was 13 years old.
Was not charged. I know it wasn't rape. There is a
statutory.
Child molest, maybe. I'm not sure.
It was something. It was something else, but I don't believe it was rape. And when we get all the information, somebody will tell me in my ear. All I'm trying to get you to understand is when we're talking about what someone did and what they were charged with, we have to say what it actually was, not what we think it was.
What he said he did. He gave her Quaaludes. He gave her champagne. She was drugged. She was 13 years old.
He
asked her, here's a transcript. But that's what I'm saying. You're 13 years old. She was still a child.
Initially he was charged with rape. Go ahead. And then he pled guilty to having sex with a minor. Okay? And he went to jail. And when they let him out,
45 days.
And when they let him out, he said, you know what? This guy's going to give me 100 years in jail. I'm not staying. And that's why he left. So that's why I wanted to be really clear, because I wanted to know exactly what we were talking about.
And I'm going, does that make it okay to, you know, instead of staying and fighting, to say, you know, he's going to give me 100 years. I'm out of here.
I don't know if it's okay. But what we were talking about was what he did. And that's what I wanted to clear up. That's all I wanted to clear up. Because I don't like it when we're passionate about something and we don't have all the facts.
Okay, so he was charged with statutory rape. So should he be prosecuted now? I believe yes, because the crime has not changed. I know she wants to move on, but there's still, what does it say about crimes that are still being committed against children?
Well, she forgives him, but forgiveness is not permission, and forgiveness doesn't mean he didn't break the law. So I agree with you, Sherry.
And if, this is a point somebody brought up backstage, if he was not famous, would we be protecting him as much as we are? Because his friend Otto Weisinger said, you know, millions and millions of people love his work. He's a brilliant guy, and he made a little mistake 32 years ago. What a shame for Switzerland, said Otto Weiser, Polanski's friend.
Well, you know, I have to tell you, again, you know, we're a different kind of society. We see things differently. The world sees 13-year-olds and 14-year-olds in the rest of Europe. They're seen oftentimes.
Well, I wonder what Otto would say if that was his 13-year-old daughter.
Well, Sherry, I don't.
And I think people realizing stuff like this today is what the walk away movement is all about. These people didn't know that they was being lied to. They don't understand that this is what they're supporting. They're supporting these people right here. And they're trying to infiltrate all the politics and everything with their ideology. I mean, here's another clip from The View where Barbara Walters is actually defending Hollywood over Corey Feldman's claims of what's going on in the sick movie industry.
I'm saying that there are people that were the people that did this to both me and Corey that are still working, they're still out there, and they're some of the richest, most powerful people in this business.
And they are.
And they do not want me saying what I'm saying right now.
Are you saying that they're pedophiles?
Yes.
And that they're still in this business?
Yes.
That's what, and that's what you're saying in your book. When you talk to when you talk to
and
parents,
they don't want me here right now. Trust
Corey,
me. They want me dead.
There are a lot of parents out here who want to put their kids in this business. Their kids are cute, they're great actors. Da, da, da. What would you say to a parent who just has the best of intentions, who's coming here with their child? If you're saying that there's a lot of predators in this industry.
It's a many-feathered bird. Okay? Be careful what you wish for. That's what I'll tell you. You know, don't go into it with naivety. Don't go into it thinking that it's all roses and sunglasses and
You're damaging an entire industry. You're damaging an entire industry.
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to. I'm just trying to say that it's a very important, serious topic.
So if you want to be a liberal lunatic and actually stand by these celebrities and actually vote for who they tell you to vote for, then there's no help for you. There really isn't anymore. If you can't see through the smoke screen here, then there is no help. I think it's pretty obvious to everybody else, and this is what we do not want in our country, and this is what we're trying to get rid of. Because it's definitely a really, really sick world. And we need a strong leader to actually expose all this stuff and actually fix this. Our previous administrators just turned a blind eye to all this. They knew what was going on. Hell, they was probably a part of it. But when I see people like Whoopi Goldberg and everyone else now sitting here snapping at Trump and acting like he's not doing anything and saying that he's the most worst person in the world to ever have as the president, shows me the ideology that they are trying to push out there to all the brainwashed people into believing. They're just trying to cover and hide for their friends. And that's all that's ever been. What do you guys think about all this? Definitely leave your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching. and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Every week, I do an opening statement on whatever it is that has me fired up. This week, take a look. The GDP under Obama was barely 1. We're going up to 4. So you want to talk about hate crime?
I'll tell you about
I fought for a law for hate crime.
I also think it's important, as we said, 89% of the Republican Party still supports him. He still has huge popularity in the country. And if Democrats don't get their you-know-what together, he's certainly going to get reelected.
Here's my question for you. Here's my question for you, because you talk about you talk about.
I am not, Judge.
Nobody is.
Oh, yeah.
Did you just point at me?
Yes.
Listen, I don't have Trump derangement. Let me tell you what I have.
Okay.
I have a lot of. I'm tired of people starting a conversation with Mexicans or liars and rapists. I'm tired of people starting a conversation about this country. Listen, I'm 62 years old. There have been a lot of people in office that I didn't agree with, but I have never, ever seen anything like this. I've never seen anybody whip up such hate. I've never seen anybody be so dismissive. And clearly you don't watch the show, so you don't know that I don't suffer from that. What I suffer from is the inability to figure out how to fix this. That's my issue. But one of the things that you talk about a lot, and I'm curious about it, is the deep state. How long has the deep state been there, and who's running it?
Well, I want to answer your question because you had
you a question.
You had your opening statement, which was how horrible it is that Donald Trump is talking about all of these people.
Sorry,
you know what
that's
I
what
think
you
is horrible?
said. You said,
Whoopi, you know what's horrible?
that
when
it
people
was,
who shouldn't
okay.
be here end up murdering the children of American citizens.
You know what's horrible?
What's horrible
when the president
is
of the United States whips up people to beat the hell out of people.
No.
Say goodbye.
After that, I was cursed at, and I and my team were thrown out of the building. Should I be angry? I suppose I should. But in the end, this isn't about me. And nobody needs to feel sorry for me. I'm a big girl, and I'd go back on The View again. No one intimidates me. But more on this issue, specifically to Whoopi, who I've known for years, later in the show. As I said, this isn't about me. There's a bigger issue at play here. The View is just a microcosm of what's going on in this country. The level of hatred toward the 45th president of the United States is beyond anything we've seen in American history. He was once an icon, sought after for movies, television, by politicians on both sides of the aisle, sports figures, and yes, even the media. Then he ran for president. Now Donald Trump is the target of vitriol so palpable, it's simply frightening, and reason has become irrelevant. We can't have conversations anymore, and the ripple is national in scope. Family, friends, acquaintances can't even talk to each other. They remove each other from Facebook, and they change dinner and family gathering plans for the holidays depending on their politics. It's almost impossible to have a rational discussion that doesn't turn into a food fight. And for some, it's now even fashionable to threaten the President of the United States.
He talks how he wants to punch people in the face. Well, I'd like to punch him in the face.
They asked me, would I like to debate this gentleman? And I said, no. I said, if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
Yes, I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
And that's not all. When a member of Congress can say this about people who work for and support the president, we have a real problem in America.
You have members of your cabinet that are being booed out of restaurants, who have protesters taking up at their house, who's saying no peace, no sleep. And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
Not welcome anymore, anywhere. The anger of the left in America is out of control. When White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders needs Secret Service protection because she speaks for the President of the United States, something's wrong. When we get screamed at even before we give an opinion, something's wrong. When it's acceptable to shout people down, when it's acceptable to not hear what people think, that's the first step to where we don't think. And thinking you're right and not allowing debate is fascism, whether it comes from a Democrat or a Republican, or the right or the left, it's wrong. It seems in America today that the takedown of a president is more important than the success of our nation. I lived through 8 years of Barack Obama. A lot of you heard my opens. I was very clear in my objection to his policies, but I never rooted for America to fail. The things that we should all want and that no one would be against simply don't matter anymore. Minority unemployment, the lowest in history, the economy soaring, ISIS defeated, tax cuts for everyone. They don't seem to matter if it's under this president. Some people are even rooting for an economic collapse.
I feel like the bottom has to fall out at some point. And by the way, I'm hoping for it because I think one way you get rid of Trump is a crashing economy. Yeah. So please bring on the recession. Yeah. Sorry if that hurts people, but it's either root for a recession or you lose your democracy.
So to all you on the left who are threatening our president, shouting down and even attacking his supporters and rooting against America, you're kidding yourselves if you think that what you're doing is standing up for America. What you're doing is tearing down America. And when you do, you're tearing down something more important than even the President of the United States. You're tearing down the values of the United States itself. Everyone has the right to speak. But when you can't even listen to what someone has to say because you despise the man who is president, you undermine not the President of the United States, you undermine the United States.
Please subscribe to our channel, like our video, and comment below, and we'll see you on the flip side. Peace!
And don't forget to click the notification bell.